Hey, welcome to another episode of the Black Guy Who Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we are live on a Monday, ready to do some podcasting. Find us everywhere you get podcasts. The official weapon of the show is
Phone chair.
And the unofficial sport,
bullet ball.
A bullet ball extreme. I forgot to ask you before the show started, but do you have any banter?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you do? Okay. All right. Well, give me a second to pull up the banter music. Here we go. Do you have any banter? Talk to me. Do you have any banter? Talk to me. Do you have any banter? Do you have any banter?
I do.
Talk to me. Do you have any banter?
I do.
Banter.
I do.
All right, hit me with that big banter, pimp.
Yeah, I just got two things. Number one is I don't know if other people's been seeing this trend, but a friend of mine was telling me that this same thing happened to them. OGBYNs are actually like people that have been doing that job for a long time are actually going into like administrative work, like upper management, doing like regional stuff. Because my OGBYN, who I've been seeing for a very long time, that's the person where I got did my hysterectomy. I think what was it? Last time I seen her, she was like, "Yeah, this will be my last time." I looked at her like, "What's happening?" She said, "Yeah." She said they offered them a job to like oversee other OGBYNs and stuff like that. And then I was talking to a friend of mine. They said the same thing happened to them. They was like, "Yeah, my OGBYN was just like, I am no longer like actually dealing with patients. Like they're not leaving the field, but they're not like doing the everyday thing. Like they're going to like management, pushing paperwork and things like that." And I have a feeling, because we kind of talked about this, I have a feeling that this is going to be a trend, that more people are going to lose their long-time OGBYNs because they don't want to deal with all the laws that are being passed, in my opinion. Like, you know, like a lot of these laws are directly impacting them and how they subscribe and your care. Because OGBYNs, they do everything. They deal with pregnancies, all that type of stuff. And not only that, OGBYNs actually see men too. And so it's one of these things where I wonder if more people are all of a sudden their OGBYNs are changing and going around, or like somebody said, feeling burnt out and things like that. Like just the stress of the job that previously, before they passed all these fucked up laws, was not there. They could just do their job, whatever their job required them to do, without these boundaries and barriers and shit that the lawmakers are putting in place to make their job much, much harder.
I could definitely see that. You know, I also think we're getting older, and I wonder if that means as we get older, our physicians get older, and they kind of move up the ladder away from the, taxing physical job of like having to examine people and stuff. But that makes sense though. There's such turmoil in the laws in each state and all that stuff. Now, I don't know if OBGYNs, and this is just my ignorance, if they perform like abortion procedures and stuff like that too. So like I don't know if that would affect them.
That I don't know.
Yeah.
Like that. Like I truly don't know. I don't know if they refer you to somebody, or if something that they could do themselves, or if they can, maybe if you need like a pill or something, they give you prescriptions and things like that. Like I don't know.
Yeah, either way, I mean, I guess you don't have to directly be the person that would go to jail, but the way these laws are, you don't know what's going to happen next week, next month, next year. So, I could definitely see that, but I mean, all these things have real life effects on us.
Right. And the thing is, it was kind of like I understood, and it was a wonderful opportunity for them, but I was kind of hurt because like, okay, now I got to get me another person like out the
Yeah,
booth.
but you shouldn't take it personal or be hurt, because I think that could happen, period.
That's true.
She could have woke up in the middle of the night and decided, I don't want to do this shit no more. Like, you always got to be ready for the person.
I know it's like a long-term relationship. Like, oh, you breaking up with me.
Yeah, I guess maybe the OBGYN is like how barbers are for dudes. Maybe that's what it's like.
It's
I
like,
don't know.
You
I mean,
know
you see
me.
your barber a little bit early, a little bit more often normally, but
You do.
I don't know. Maybe it's like it's an intimate relationship. They got to do some intimate stuff to you.
It is, and I got somebody else like in the same practice, things like that, which is fine. And the person I got, they're going to be great because I've worked with them before. But it's just one of these things where you kind of get used and adjusted to this person, like you say. It's very intimate, and it's a little different than your and some OGBYNs could be primary care physicians in some cases. Mine happens not to be, but in some cases they can be. And so it's like, okay, now I'm losing my primary care physician and my OGBYN kind of all in one swoop.
Mm-hmm. I don't have any better.
Oh, okay. My next thing is shout out to the Mammogram place for making upgrades. Because the Mammogram place that I've been going to is like in this office building, and it shares this parking lot. Parking is free, but it's like a parking deck and all this type of stuff. And it's kind of like a communal place. I remember the first time I got there, I didn't even really know how to get there, because you go and then you go across like this. It's like you go into the parking lot, you park, then you go through these double doors, then you go down this long sidewalk, and then you go into like this big open room, and you're like, okay, where the fuck do I go, type of thing. So it's almost like you almost kind of have to know where you're going in order to get to it. I've been several times, so I kind of have figured it out, and I like the location because it's near my regular physician's office, so they kind of like side by side almost. And so they moved, and they was like, yeah, we moved locations and things like that. So I was like, okay, great. And they was like, we got our own spot. I was like, good. And when that means spot, it's like a brand new building that they spent like a few $1 billion to like build from the ground up, and they got like their own parking lot where like the parking is strictly for people coming there to get mammograms and things like that. And I appreciate that because it's easier. You can get in and out. You don't have to. Well, you didn't have to pay for parking before, but it was like a parking deck with like a person standing there and all that stuff. I think they don't give cards at this one, but some of them like to give cards where you got to stamp them and all that stuff. Like, you don't have to go through none of that, because they're like, this is our land, our property, and stuff like that. But what I did like about it is, I feel like whoever designed this place had women involved in the process very, very heavily, because it is beautifully designed. Like, when you walk in, it's very welcoming, it's very open. You don't feel closed off. And everybody was really nice and friendly. Was plenty of places to sit. And so you go in, you give them your name, and they just tell you to sit. And then that same person comes, and they basically take you kind of in the back. And like, you go through this door. And when you go through the door, it's like this wide hallway. And on one side, it's like a bunch of tables and chairs, but it's like doors. And in front of each door is a chair. And so you basically... they give you a room, you go in there, you put the robe on, they ask you all the questions, and then you go back out and you sit down until the person comes and gets you. What I like about it is that it's comfortable. It had like what you call it, almost like spotlight music playing and stuff like that while you're sitting there, and like you didn't feel crushed and cramped. You didn't feel like you had to hold a conversation, if that makes sense. Like, you basically could just sit there and be in your own thoughts and things like that. And then when the person comes and gets you, they take you through, it's one of the doors, but they take you through another door, and they basically take you into another room, and that's where the person, they go through the mammogram thing. And what I like about it is they have 2 doors per machine. And so it's like, when you go in, you go straight to them, because before it was a lot more walking. It was basically like somebody would get your name, they would have to basically walk all the way to the front, get you, and then walk you all the way to where you would change, and then you change, and then they would have to walk you all the way to the room, and then they would do all that. So it was a lot of walking and things like that. And the reason why I say the person who did this considered had a lot of women in it, it's because you're dealing with mammograms. So you might be dealing with people that may have had chemotherapy and things like that. You just sometimes you're dealing with older people that might not have the strength to do all that walking and back and forth and things like that. So literally they cut down on all that heaviness that it could be for some people, because if you're going through some of this, then you might not have the energy to do all that walking and that back and forth and here and there. And I'm pretty sure for those people, they probably had to do a lot more assisting of people, to get them around to these places. And it would not be surprising if they can actually rotate more people in and out now. Because basically the people up front are the people that take you to sit, and that's not the person that's actually doing the imaging. And so the imaging person can basically focus on imaging. They basically can image, okay, and then they basically send you back out. You wrap up, you change, and then you leave. And then basically, they probably send in a little note or whatever to tell them that they're ready. And then they probably just send somebody else down. So I'm pretty sure it probably makes it more efficient, more effective, and because like the robes are really, really nice. They like these pink robes. They're very comfortable. Like I said, the music. I was thinking in my head, like, oh, whoever designed this, a lot of women were involved that had or either the staff that had to deal with all these things with the patients. I'm pretty sure for the staff, they basically can come in and just do their job. Like they don't have to do a lot of back and forth and things like that. I'm pretty sure they have more energy now than they did before when you don't have to do all those different things. And it's very, very nice. I really, really like that process because I had my mammogram today, so I really, really liked the process. It was because it wasn't stressful or anything at all.
Well, you said OBGYN.
I mean, not OBGYN, mammogram.
Okay. So this is two different trips.
Yes,
right.
yes, yeah. The first one was about the OBGYN. This one's about my mammogram I had today, and I really do like the setup and design and things like that. I like it a lot. So shout out to them for actually caring.
Yeah, I mean, that is interesting, and I do wonder how they like source that stuff, because that seems like pretty logical, universal things. Like those are things that would make every experience better. Like it doesn't even have to be just a mammogram facility, but just a regular doctor's office would be better with some of that stuff. And obviously you wouldn't get like necessarily no, actually even with the robe, you could do like a robe instead of that thing they put around you, but I'm sure that shit costs money. I bet rich people already thought of all this, but yeah, it is nice to have somebody think like that, because it's a very anxiety ridden process in the first place. A lot of women don't go because of the anxiety of it, but also just the discomfort and the worry and all this stuff. And so if you could kind of take some of that off the table with like, this is gonna be an experience that reminds you almost of a spa as compared to like a antiseptic doctor's appointment, I can see how that would increase people's likelihood to go.
Yes, and it also it changed the atmosphere, because like before you would be in this room, but you would be in a room full of a lot of other people, and y'all would literally be kind of almost looking and staring at each other, which is fine.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things to where for a lot of people who might have anxiety, might be their first time, whatever it may be, I could see them feeling awkward and strange or weird or whatever, trying to have interaction. Like if you want to talk, you can, because the thing is, it's so relaxed that it actually, to an extent, encourages more talking, because you don't have people all stressed and tensed up kind of feeling like, okay, I wonder what's happening. You could tell people were kind of in their own minds and things like that. But with this one, because it was such a relaxing feeling, it kind of made it more relaxing for the patient, which, not trying funny, probably makes it relaxing for the imaging person, because people come back in a more of a not as tense mood, type of thing, and so it makes it a happier experience. And I know, and I didn't even think about this, but this makes sense. One of the dudes asked, he was like, "Can I go in the back with my wife?" And they was like, "No, you cannot." They was like, "It's a lovely chair over there you can sit in," but they was like, "You can't come back here, sir." I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes complete sense that he can't come back there, because it's one of these things where it would just fuck up the atmosphere. And
but that's not something he could have done before this either, though, right?
Agreed. Right.
Yeah, so that's not necessarily new.
Right. But yeah, I was like, oh, good. Because a lot of times you rarely see men come in there anyway.
Yeah, no, you don't have to explain this. I think this is pretty obvious why men won't be back there. I think our reputation precedes us.
but I just thought it was strange that he would ask. I was thinking, I thought you.
I mean, he could have been on the up and up and just not known. I mean, I think most of the time we can be pretty absent-minded as to what goes through other people's heads, and even a good concerned husband, you're just like thinking about your wife and like, I want to go back there and
that's what I was
her.
thinking. I was thinking,
nervous.
yeah,
who knows, she may have some other things going on, but you're gonna have to support her from the lobby. It's all good.
Oh, he was more than happy to, because like I said, people come from various different things. You have to remember, not that this was her, but people come for support for cancers, all types of things that they're going through. So it was like, hey, I just want to be the moral support. But yeah, other than that, that's it for me. But I just wanted to share those things, with people, because I know those are things that people have to deal with.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, not all the banter is just jokes and comedy, and I'm sure the whole time somebody just thought I was thinking you need to shut the hell up because they think I'm Ike Turner. But let's just get into election news.
You're running against me. Kamala Harris. Me. Kamala Harris. This former president, we're not going back. This former president, we're not going back. This president, we're not going back. So let's be clear about that. You're running against me.
Kamala Harris.
All right, so last night was a wild time for our politics. I think Kamala Harris did Club Shay Shay. I haven't listened to it. I may not listen to it. At this point, it's not about anything really. It's not about Shannon Sharp. It's not about her. I voted. I know how I'm gonna vote. If you listen to the sound of my voice, I support her. I believe in her. The only thing that could probably happen is that Shannon Sharp say some shit to irritate me. But other than that, it's just kind of like, cool. I like that she's doing it, and that's really all I got.
All right, it's about getting in front of as many faces as you can.
Yes, and I am, like most people listening to this, I am constantly in a state of anger about the general tenor of this election and what is happening with our country. And I like me still saying I believe she's gonna win, but the fact that what is happening on the other side is so egregious at this point, and there's still people that think this is a not a game, but they just think this is like a conventional election, and I don't think. I'm trying to hold my contempt.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to hold my contempt because it's not to the people that you would think, where I would be mad at, like, oh, these MAGA Republicans and these support. Of course, fuck them. But it's a lot of people on our side that I'm mad at, where I'm like, why do you think what you're saying matters? When you're quibbling over like, well, what about this specific policy? Why do you think what you're saying matters? Why do you think none of us have thought of that? Everyone's thought of what you're saying already. It's actually pretty fucking obvious. But people really think this shit is a game. And while you're quibbling over will she do 4% or 5%, the other side is saying they're literally going to be killing people on day one. They're saying they're going to steal the election. Do y'all have what it takes? Do y'all have to steal the fortitude in you to fight for this shit? Or are you going to bitch up because you've been complaining about it's not, I don't want the chicken or the fish. You've been complaining the whole time, and it's just been, it's so late in the game. I'm like, I don't even understand what y'all complaining about. And so that's bothers me a bit. But I think it really peaked, and as it's supposed to, because this is the purpose of what Donald Trump did. He had a rally in New York City. And I want to say it was at Madison Square Garden, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was. But yeah, it was at Madison Square Garden. And it was just essentially a Klan rally. It was just, the hits of racism and bigotry that they have people were sharing some of the clips on social media. I tried to avoid most of them, but some stuff seeps through. And it's egregious and outrageous, and it's not and it's not really for us. And it's not really for New Yorkers either.
Nope.
Because they know they're losing New York, and they know they're losing New York City. It's for people. This is the same thing I said about when he went to the NABJ. You're being a useful idiot. You're being used. This is not conventional. You should treat this differently. The fact that you think this is normal is normalizing it. He goes to these places to say, I said it to their face. And that stokes something inside of these bigoted white people and bigoted other people. Honestly, it's not just white people. But these bigoted people that support him, they get a boner from being like, look at this. Mm-hmm. He called them the N-words to their face. That's what I'm voting for. He's not going to win any of this other shit. But some of the stuff did go viral. There's a comedian, Tony Hinchcliffe, who people might know from his show Kill Tony. He's a guy that we covered on the show before because there was an Asian dude that was a comedian that went before him, and he said some shit about
that dude.
Yeah, he made a bunch of racist Asian jokes about him after that happened, and people was like, oh, this is not cool or whatever. And he went, it's just jokes. I joke on everybody. People that fall for that bullshit, black people included. I've seen black people go up for these type of edgy white guys. And I think very much the same. The people that are fans of Andrew Schultz, I think this is, and I'm sure they would disagree, but I feel like this is the path that he's walking down too. Mm-hmm. And the whole time he's walking, you being a fan is what he uses as the cosign to be like, how can I be racist? Black people like this shit too. But the whole time they're telling you who they are. It might be through jokes, but the jokes always kind of lean a certain way, and then they go, but I just joke on everybody. But it's like, you don't though. You don't really. No one ever really jokes on everybody. You have a limit, and you have people that you see as your audience, and you have yourself, and there's something internal that just stops people from always finding every angle of humor for everything. First of all, just comedy wise, as a comedian, a person who joked on everybody all the time would sound like a nonsense to most people. It wouldn't even make sense, because people need a through line in their humor to know, like, who is the butt of these jokes. What is funny about this? Humor still has a math and a logic to it.
It does.
So if people just made jokes and every single type of person was always on the menu, people wouldn't even know how to take it, because our brains would just not accept that. It's like, well, what the fuck? How's that funny if the thing you said before is the opposite? It's hard to do, and I've never seen anybody that I thought did it successfully. Even if I just accepted that they're doing edgy humor. But anyway, so this comedian who mostly goes by, hey, I just talk shit about everything. It's just comedy. It's freedom of speech. We should be allowed to say racist, bigoted, homophobic, whatever things. It's just funny to me. I know, like I said, I know black dudes that will co-sign this shit, that will tell me like, yeah, that's all. I don't see what's the problem. That's what other comedians have done. And they're just being used, in my opinion, they don't. And listen, a truth you won't tell yourself is not something I can reveal to you.
Ain't that the truth, right?
You won't tell yourself the truth that, like, playing around with this shit, these motherfuckers really be believing it. Mm-hmm. It's not a coincidence. It's not, these watermelon jokes and this like old school 1940s racist bullshit. They believe that Make America Great Again is that. They want to go back to a time where those comedians were the default of what a comedian was.
Right.
Used to be a time in America where a comedian was a white dude that went on stage and made a bunch of jokes about niggers.
Yes.
And everybody was like, that's funny. And by everybody, I mean the white people who ate that shit up. The black people were never considered or in that room. But that was comedy to them. And now, because black people have come some ways in America, some of us will sit up there and pal around and hobnob with these motherfuckers, and at the same time the joke is now like, oh, Mexicans, gay people, da and black people too, but I pick on everybody. Not really. You just a throwback. So that's what Tony does, Tony Hinchcliffe. But now he's doing that at a Trump rally. And the thing about doing it at a Trump rally is just jokes doesn't really cover political Trump rally support. To a room full of people who do believe in these racist stereotypes, who are making policy and supporting those who make policy based off of these racist stereotypes and sexist stereotypes and, you know, homophobic stereotypes, transphobic stereotypes, everything. These are now the halls of power. So this idea of the comedian who speaks truth to power, or who, you know, is just, hey, it's just about jokes, I'm a silly guy, don't take what I say serious. It doesn't really get more serious than pitching red meat to racists who are then laughing because they agree, not because they find it so clever. Well, they're laughing funny because they agree, right, and will implement the racist policies if they can get in charge again. So that's what he's doing. Now I'll pull up the clip of the joke that went so y'all can hear it for yourselves. And you know, this is my real problem with conservative comedy, is it's very rarely actually funny.
Right. It's not funny at all.
And I don't mean that in the like, because I'm so sensitive. I mean, just like I said, a joke is a formula. A, B, C.
Right. They are not funny, and they don't understand the structure, and they'll say shit and I'm like, that shit ain't funny. Like,
yeah, it's just in order to what I find increasingly with their comedy is, in order for it to be funny, you must be so indoctrinated in right-wing culture that's the only way you can find it funny.
All right.
You know, it's them making jokes like, well, you know, they're gonna put 17 more ballot boxes in Georgia. I need to be a person that believes the election was stolen from fake ballot boxes or some documentary or something. I have to know a bunch of extra shit that isn't true to then go, aha, clever. They're gonna go with 17 boxes because last time they went with 10. How would I know? Because I'm fucking in this code. I don't know that stuff. I have no reference for it to be funny. But there's plenty of humor that is good enough that you don't have to know every detail for stuff to be funny.
Agreed.
But it's based in a reality that at least has a shared set of facts. That's the kind of humor that kind of reaches people. You know, that's why so many comedians do relationship comedy and shit. It's just like, you don't have to necessarily agree with what I'm saying, but you do understand that sometimes a man and a woman can be in a relationship and that sometimes people fight. Boom, that's the premise. And now I'm going to tell you about a fight I had with my girlfriend. I'm going to tell you about a fight I had with my boyfriend or whatever. Like, the point being, there's a shared level of like understanding. They don't always have that. But here's him in New York talking about Puerto Rico. Keep in mind, Puerto Rico is, anyone born in Puerto Rico, you're an American citizen.
Yes, you are.
Your vote don't count in the federal election, which is some bullshit.
I did not know that.
Yeah. People been trying to get Puerto Rico to be like the 51st state for years. And Washington, D.C. as well.
Yes.
Because their votes don't count. But they live under the laws of America. But yeah, here's the clip.
It is absolutely wild times. It really, really is. And, you know, there's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there. No.
And that's the other thing with these type of comedians. If the only point of your joke is that I offended somebody, it's the lowest level of comedy to me. It's not hard to offend people, especially in this environment. Like, they'll even say, everybody's so sensitive now. Everybody's got so much like sensitivity. I'm tired of all the sensitive libs and folks and the DI. Okay, cool. So if everybody's sensitive, why is making them mad the highest echelon of comedy? It's the lowest bar. Oh, I'm just gonna say a word that people said you shouldn't say. Okay. Do you feel like a big man? Was that funny for you? Did you get, like, did it help you somehow? And like, I don't dabble in this shit because it's beneath me. It's not, like I said, I'm not offended. I'm just much funnier than that. I'm much better than that. I hold myself to something that's a little bit higher than that. You know, there's people like I listen to so many shows, and these people aren't always like stand-up comedians and stuff. So the bar is much lower for them as a general citizen. But if I could tell you how many just podcasts and shit I've heard of people where they're like, oh we gonna get in trouble. We about to say something. Oh, I don't. And I'm just like, you're not gonna get in any trouble. It's all fucking bullshit.
Right.
The power dynamics of our society are such that people say the kind of stuff you're about to say, and they never get in fucking trouble unless they're like a superstar celebrity or something. Even then, you're not gonna get in trouble for saying I'm gonna get in trouble. It's just, but people like playing around like this, especially people that have the privilege. Like, it's white people being like, you can't say that nothing about these black people. And you're like, but you do. You can actually be president of the United States and say something about these black people.
Yes, you can.
So that's not true. Your premise is false. And you playing like the black people are out here like the scary boogeyman is crazy. But so he said that, and a lot of people got tight about it. People were upset. AOC went in on him on social media. She was not playing. There's people from within the political sphere that said they were disgusted and stuff. But the bigger point that I would make is I saw a few people that floated this idea of like, finally Trump has gone too far at this rally. This racism is too much. He just committed political suicide was one description I saw of a writer who wrote about this online. Maybe for the New York Times. I can't remember which publication. But anyway, why do y'all think so highly of the Trump voter?
Right.
Hillary been told y'all them people deplorable.
Yes, she did.
Obama said they cling to their guns and they Bible. Now that's before Trump, but you know what he meant. These motherfuckers are there for this.
Oh yeah, that's why they came.
This was a good night for them. Like this, the real thing you have to wonder is what is the floor for the people who want to be in the room with this motherfucker right here that are in these marginalized groups. That's what you gotta wonder. The real question is, when there's 800,000 Puerto Ricans in Florida that have the right to vote, whose vote will count, what y'all gonna do? It's on y'all now. They not just talking about us no more. The motherfucker that already fucked up Puerto Rico before when a hurricane hit, and he was out there passing
tossing paper towels
like he was shooting jump shots, and then cutting off aid, and then fucking trying to be cheap and got ripped off. The government got ripped off by a woman who couldn't even provide the aid that she
couldn't provide the services.
Right. People died for that shit.
Yes.
And it's like everybody fucking forgot. It ain't been that long ago.
Not me. I will not forget. And it's one of those things where, similar to you, I have feelings and opinions, and I have a hot fire in my heart, but it's one of these things where I understand that right now it's about the election and Kamala winning and things like that. So I'm like, okay, cool. But I do know that people are playing, and they're playing it right in front of my face. And I'm like, hey, motherfucker, like, don't fuck around, because if things goddamn go south, you gonna really learn how I feel, because you're not the only one that's been angry the whole time. You're not the only one that's been upset the whole time. You ain't the only one that has opinions about this the whole time. Yeah, a lot of them people just be online just spouting and saying shit, and they act like when people tell them and hey, you know what, take this shit seriously, quit fucking around, they want to act like you're the cuckoo bird.
Yeah, I feel confident saying this after those exit polls yesterday. Black people not playing.
No. We
keeping that same energy. Now, the rest of y'all fucking around with this white supremacy, I don't know what it's going to take. But Latino men are doing better. It should even higher. Like, listen to what he's saying. Listen to what they saying. Just because you might even look white passing, or you just aspire to whiteness, you don't pass the test. You don't count. You're not white.
You don't count.
The shit that they're talking about is coming for you too. All this illegal alien shit is really about you too. It's not about them fucking Haitians.
No, it's
about you.
It's not. And being down south, because like I said, this varies in different places of the country, but being down south, it's like this. You have white, black, Hispanic, and Asian. Like most people down here, you kind of divide up in these groups. They don't care about your subsections. They don't care about how special you come from the island. They don't care. It is that simple for them. And if you don't fall in whiteness, you're not white. You're othered.
I'm saying even if you're here legally, they talking about you.
Yes.
If you did everything right, like the Haitians did, that they were targeting with their campaign of harassment and lies. They're talking about you too, dog. You own the menu.
You're not an exception.
You're not sitting at the table. You're sitting on the table, on a plate. Okay, with your legs up in the air, crossed and tied. Like you got an apple in your mouth and you thinking they feeding you. You're not. Everybody over there playing like that is doing that shit. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was one of the things that happened. Just, there was other shit too, but that's the one that really seemed to catch on. Tony Hinchcliffe also made jokes about black people because he said his friend, he's like, oh, this black guy is dressed like such and such. Oh, don't worry, that's my friend. It's cool that he's here. I was just at his house last night for Halloween. We were carving watermelons. Hilarious, no one's ever made a joke like that before, and thank God he had the freedom of speech and bravery to say it.
Right.
Tucker Carlson called VP Harris a Samoan, Malaysian, low IQ former California prosecutor. Only one of those things being true is that she was a former California prosecutor. Everything else is just, oh, you're not white.
You're not white.
Do you understand that Samoan and Malaysian is an insult in that sentence? Only but if you understand that not being white is an insulting thing. That's where we're at. This shit is a fight. You're not gonna win this bitching about Kamala Harris and backpedaling into the fucking election booth. Mm-mm. You're gonna win this if you outfight these motherfuckers. And I see people that don't got to fight in them.
They don't.
And I'm like, what's wrong with you? How bad do shit gotta get for you understand what the consequences will be? Because you really don't have the luxury to be up here hemming and hawing at this point, dog. You need to be pushing back with the same might that white supremacy is trying to push, because it's on its death knell.
Yes.
Unless we let this bitch go to overtime. We literally could stop this shit right now. But you can also let this game go to overtime, and we'll be fighting this shit tooth and nail again. And I don't think everybody got it in them. Because if you're too weak to fucking vote, you're definitely too weak to survive a Trump presidency. You too weak for all that shit. Yeah. You ain't got it in you.
Yes, and that's what's tripped me out. It's like the easiest thing that you can do is motherfucking vote. That's just like the regular standard. That's like the lowest bar you can choose. You're opting to fuck around with that. You won't do that, but I expect you to fight. I expect you to actually go out on the street to protest. I expect you to do anything, leaving your house.
You just gonna be on Twitter bitching
and complaining and saying
and blaming Democrats. That's what you're gonna be doing.
Yes,
you gonna full well know what would have happened if you butched up, and then you're gonna be like, it's the Democrats' fault somehow that this happened to us.
Right? Why the motherfuckers out there fighting? I'm not fighting.
Trump also at this rally vowed to expand Muslim ban and bar Gaza refugees if he wins presidency. So for those that are hoping Jill Stein or blank votes or protesting against Kamala Harris is going to lead to some better outcome, it's not.
It's not.
You actually know, as he is telling you, it will be worse, and it will be on all of us who did not mitigate as much harm as we could. Mm-hmm. These motherfuckers are feeling inspired right now. Nick Bosa, NFL player, his team plays Sunday Night Football. They were interviewing the quarterback, who was kind of the MVP of the game. Nick Bosa crashes the interview wearing a MAGA hat.
points in the first half. What was said during halftime? Hey. All right. Nick Bosa with a message there. What point?
So, this isn't even just Tom Brady tacitly having the hat in the background of his locker, which I thought was also offensive and ridiculous. It's funny that these guys who used to be quiet are suddenly now loud. Now, when he had a time, because he was asked about it after the game in the press conference, and he had a time where he could have addressed it. I'm sorry, I didn't echo last time, but it should not this time. But he didn't want to talk about it. Then he wore a different hat to the press.
Appeared to be a political statement.
I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I think it's an important time.
Bitch, get out of my face. Get the whole fuck out of my face. You was bold enough to come in there and make it uncomfortable for everybody. The host had to act like she didn't see the shit. And now it's time to answer the questions, and you don't have a motherfucking thing to say. Bitch, why you had that hat on? Answer the question.
Right.
Don't wear the hat if you're not willing to stand by it.
Right. And these are to keep politics out of our sports. Those people have done a 180. They love Nick Bosa. Oh, I love this. I saw what you wrote about Colin Kaepernick. You didn't love that. I saw what you said about LeBron and Steph Curry. I saw what you said when they put Black Lives Matter on the court. I saw what you said when you thought it was woke leftist jargon to put end racism and stop hate in the end zone of NFL games. I saw what you said. You were very staunchly against you weren't free speech then. You weren't about rights then. You wanted people to shut up and dribble, shut up and run and throw. Now all of a sudden, you got Nick Bosa out here. There's a couple other MAGA dudes. There's like a kicker that started a actual political action committee, Harrison Butker. Now y'all love it. That's representation now, right? It's good now, right? It's good to you. More power to them. More white power to them.
Yeah, and I think for me the frustrating thing is that you don't want to stand by it. Stand by it. Like, I don't mean no harm. It's like you want to come out here, you want to half-ass, and it's like I said before, you want everything that comes along with the racism, but you don't want to be called racist. But it don't do racist shit.
Oh, big same. Because you didn't even have, like, when Colin Kaepernick got on that podium after that game where they started asking him about the kneeling, he sat up there and told them why he knelt.
Yes.
He told them exactly what it was. And every time after that they were asking when he was going to stop and all this type of shit, he sat up there and answered those questions. To the chagrin of, I'm sure, a lot of people in that locker room, the team, the owners, other NFL owners, media people, a bunch of people did not like that shit. But he stood 10 toes down and he stood tall on it. You ain't got to support it. You ain't got to agree with it. But he didn't duck it.
Right.
It might have cost him his career. He didn't duck the shit, though. He didn't sit up there and go, well, I just think it's an important time. Why?
Right. Why? My thing is stand by it. And not only that, motherfucker, you got coworkers that seen that. I gotta work with you, bitch, and I know how you feel about me.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just interesting to see the lack of I shouldn't even say interesting. It's predictable to see. There you go. The lack of that outrage and that sticking to sports and the morality there. They did ask him a follow-up to it because, I'm like, damn, they didn't even ask him no follow-up. Here's the answer to the follow-up.
Is your sixth season? I mean, I realize you say you want to talk too much about it, but have you been tempted in the past to kind of wave your
No, I mean, it's definitely a little easier nowadays, but no, I don't feel too inclined to do that.
Because
just a different climate.
And
Yeah, that speaks volumes.
Mhm.
And on top of that, it's one of these things where when you say that diversity matters, because I'm going, hey, if the right person asks you the right questions, they're gonna have you looking like a fool. Like they ain't gonna ask you, they were like, explain yourself, sir, please. I want to know.
Honestly though, I thought it was pretty weak what he was saying. I'm not going in on the reporters only because it is readily apparent to me, and it should have been readily apparent to everyone who just saw that clip. It should be readily apparent to everyone who just, witnessed it. He's his way out of this.
Yes.
There's not a way you were going to get him to answer that question so he would say it with his chest. He was going to act sheepish with it because he knows enough to know that shit is wrong. Right. Because if you were actually proud of it, you'd be like, nah, I want these illegal aliens out of the country. I want the Haitians are eating dogs. I want black people to be harassed by the cops. Cops should have immunity. Mm-hmm. I want women not to have the right to have a choice over their own body about pregnancy. He don't want to say that shit out loud because he knows it's motherfucking wrong. And the only thing Trump truly offers these people is whiteness.
Yes.
He says, I'm going to fight for whiteness in America. TM, whiteness. And it shouldn't matter what kind of person I am. And you know what? A lot of his supporters say, you goddamn right. It don't matter what kind of person you are. What we voting for is for you to fight for whiteness. And we absolutely believe you will do that. Mm-hmm. So, whether I can say it's religion, but I know you're not a religious person and you don't believe in my religion.
No, you don't.
I think you believe in whiteness. And I think you will always look out for, like I can't remember if I was saying it on here or saying it on pregame, but I said the ad about the Kamala fights for they, them. Trump will fight for you. And I said, he's not even really have to fight for you. That's over promising. They'll accept he's just against they, them.
Yes, sir.
As long as he's against them, whoever the them is. I'm not talking about gender and pronouns.
Yeah, whoever the them is.
I'm talking about them. Whoever them is, as long as he will fight for them, fight against them, that's good enough. We know he's not fighting for you, whoever individual white person at home is. He could give a fuck about you. He'll rip you off in a second.
Yes,
He'll grab your pussy. He'll steal your fucking money. He'll take your donations. He'll rip you off. He'll kick you out of his housing. Like, it ain't about you for real. Y'all just share the same hatred. And that's why I keep telling people over this past few years, like, oh, I hate Donald Trump. And so everything has been simplified for me. Right. It's the one thing we should be able to agree on. And if we can't agree on that, then we're going to lose the election. Yes, and whatever happens is on us, because it should be that simple. Everything else is equivalent. Everything else is a little bit of bullshit that really don't matter.
Right. Everything else is not keeping you, is taking your eyes off the prize. Like, as far as I'm
America
concerned.
didn't leave us the luxury of varying degrees of righteousness. This is close as right you're gonna get.
Yes, it is. You have to make a decision and make a choice, and people don't want to make a choice. Like you said, fish or chicken. You got to decide which one you want, and not deciding, you still gonna get the fish or the chicken, regardless of if you get an opinion or not by voting. You're going to receive one of these meals.
Yeah, there's also a clip that was going around of Stephen A. Smith, who went on Hannity show, and Sean Hannity is a big Trump supporter, who's was one of the people that truly legitimized Trump with these like weekly sit down call-ins and all this type of shit. And Stephen A. Smith went on there, who is, by everything I've seen of him, I believe is a conservative person. Mm-hmm. He'll say he's not aligned to any party, political maverick, but I think he's clearly voiced some pretty conservative points of view on a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And he makes a point of it. I don't think it's not like he's keeping this shit to himself.
No, he's not.
He's a sports commentator. He doesn't have to talk politics at all, but when he does talk politics, a lot of times he's trying to be a bit of a contrarian or a maverick or whatever. I think people, and he touts his friendship with Sean Hannity. He loves talking how much they're big friends and they talk all the time. Goes on the show all the time. So he goes on the show, and Sean Hannity's probably thinking, with his private discussions with Stephen A. Smith and how they say they're friends and all this shit, he's probably expecting Stephen A. to be at least anti-Kamala, if not pro-Trump. But then this happened.
Number two, I know you're not talking about somebody being lucid and cogent and enunciating their thoughts with clarity, and you're bragging about Donald Trump. We can't be watching the same stuff if that's what you're doing. You ain't going to do that today.
You know
now,
what?
Lindsey Graham, hold it. Now, Senator Lindsey Graham is about to come on this show.
Let me tell you something.
That man can articulate himself very well. Him. Not Donald Trump now.
I have sat with him for hours.
Now, the fact that he said Lindsey Graham can articulate himself
ain't he
well.
the one that glitched?
That's Mitch McConnell.
Okay.
But the fact that he said Lindsey, the fact that he's telling you the people he respects and fucks with politically. That's my point. He brought up another conservative person, is my point.
Hour after hour after hour, topic after topic after topic, and he is so dialed in. Look, it's funny. People try. This is like the latest
press conferences.
And meanwhile,
and like, I think the clip goes on a little bit more in different versions of it. Let me see if I can pull up another one, but it, like, the fact that even he got a wake up call on this late in the game to be like, we can't be fucking with Trump, says something, because he's a guy who gets off on being like, maybe we can fuck with these conservatives. Black people, we got to stop just throwing our votes away to the Democrats. And then the memo went out, him and Charlemagne did something that said, okay, look, we got to stop playing.
So again, we might not like something on the left. We might not like something on the right. These are the two candidates that we've got to work with. And when you bring up issues in terms of character or in terms of being truthful or whatever, let me tell you something right now. Right. You can bring a whole bunch of Republicans and I'll be cool with it. You can't bring up Trump to make a case against somebody else using those arguments. You can't do that.
Look, you know what? I'm predicting that privately you're going to vote for Trump.
Oh, never. And I told you, I'm on the record. I'd have voted almost for any Republican but him. Okay.
That's not the flex he thinks it is, and that's very telling. But also it's very telling, and this is why I say it's a welcome to the party situation. I'm not quibbling over this. I'm not fighting anybody over this. It's distasteful to me. But yeah, Stephen A. Smith is on point. He's coming through. Thank you. Like, because Trump is different. And I'm not saying
it's different.
I'm not saying I'd ever vote for any of these motherfucking Republicans, and maybe he would, maybe he votes with his wallet. I don't know. But the fact that he's like, this is fucking
almost
different.
any Republican but him. Okay. Nikki Haley, Chris Christie, I would have voted for
I'm not trying to set you
him.
I gotta go. I love you, Stephen A. God bless you. And I don't have to defend my relationship with you.
So again, we might not
I like how Hannity's about to go into some, I don't need to defend my relationship with you, but really that's because subconsciously that's what he's thinking. Subconsciously he's like, I do need to defend this shit because people watching are like, why'd you let that motherfucker come on the show and talk bad about Trump? But yeah, this like people are kind of, trying to get that last ditch effort in, and I appreciate it. But yeah, Donald Trump's rally was that fucked up, and that clip was before the rally. Also at the rally, the bulwark.com is reporting that Tony Hinchcliffe in his set was supposed to call Kamala Harris a cunt, but then the Trump campaign said, no, you can't do that. But he would have if not. The fact that you even put that out there, that you knew that was the home crowd to do that with, and that you only did it because you expected the campaign to say okay.
Right.
And they said no, because they're cool with racism, but not sexism. That's where they draw the line, and misogyny, right? But yeah, that was the plan. It just didn't happen for him. But keep in mind, he's just a comedian, guys. He doesn't mean anything. It's just jokes. Don't take it too serious. Hey, he jokes on everybody, right? He joked on everybody all the way to Madison Square Garden at a Trump rally. Does it seem like Trump jokes on everybody?
Mm-mm.
Does it feel like the people in that crowd got jokes for everybody? Nah, that's some fucked up shit. And like I said, people were legitimizing it. People were letting it cook. Byron Donalds walked out on the stage, and I honestly, when people said this happened, it's that thing. It was so wild. I said, did this really happen? Is this even true? Because y'all will say shit, and I'm like, that's hilarious if it is true. But when has anything ever been that fucked up and also turns out to be true? Well, I guess it was true. Byron Donalds spoke. He's the black guy. One of the blacks.
Okay, one of them.
And he goes to speak at the Trump rally, and before he comes on stage, the intro music was Dixieland. You know, the land of cotton.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I was in Dixie. Hooray, hooray.
Yeah, like you said, it was another big ass Klan rally.
Bro, you out there tap dancing for them?
Yes, you
After
are.
they play Dixie? Like, Make America Great Again, for a lot of us, we see through the bullshit and we know what it means. It's a time, they want to go back to a time when black people knew their place.
Yes.
I didn't think Byron Donalds and other black people would be like, oh, I'm already here in the color section over here. I got my seat.
I'm already coming in through the back.
I pre-ordered my tickets to my place.
I'm already sitting at the back of the bus.
You know, that's crazy. But yeah, it really did happen. I thought it was a joke. I thought people were lying. I couldn't believe it. I have the video of it if y'all need to see it. But let me pull it up for y'all. But it's just one of those things where it's so crazy. You're just like, nah, that's probably just AI or a photo. Like someone photoshopped this. Nah, it happened. This is the clip.
Oh, I wish I was in a land.
Keep in mind, Dixie don't even slap like that. And this is a New Yorker candidate in New York in Madison Square Garden in front of a crowd, presumably from New York City.
Yeah, they from all over.
Well, okay. Well, never mind. Fuck my point, Karen. This crowd of people is supposed to be here in New York representing New York.
Okay.
He's there shitting on New York to be like, isn't it fucked up? And y'all have to deal with this shit and live here. I'm sure that's what the speech was. The point being, you're playing Dixie. Dixie is a song about the South. I wish I was in the land of Dixie. It's not really about the land, is it? It's about a time. It's about a period when niggas knew their place, where women knew to shut the fuck up. That kind of stuff. Where
I ain't playing no Yankee Doodle Dandy.
They might have. I don't know. Yankee Doodle Dandy. I don't know what that song's about. It feels mildly racist too, though.
It probably is, but at least it got Yankee in it.
Old times are look away.
The lack of pride you have to have coming out after this. They literally played Dixieland.
I'm surprised the crowd didn't start singing.
They don't know the words. No one knows the words of this shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Congressman Byron Donalds.
That's crazy. I know they didn't just play MOP. They went from Dixie to MOP. And he tried to walk out like he's like a boxer going to the ring.
Oh, that nigga. Child, the coon stopped blending. I'm sorry, baby. I was like, no, which one is that again?
he's trying to stand up there like he's a wrestler or some shit, but it's just like, I'm sure as soon as he got on stage, he played some spoons, did some soft shoe, a little shucking, but it's just it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous, man. And that's the point of him being there. That's the entire point. Dr. Phil was there. He talked about DEI and hard work and all this type of shit. A man that literally none of us would have heard of if not for the hard work of DEI Oprah Winfrey.
Wouldn't have known you existed.
A man that literally owes a black woman everything.
Mm-hmm.
This country was built on hard work, not on DEI, he says. Ridiculous. Bernice King, who is holding up her father's legacy, Martin Luther King, she went on Twitter and said, Dr. Phil's comments last night missed the critical truth about America's foundation. My father, MLK, challenged the myth that our prosperity came solely from hard work. Again, we have deluded ourselves into believing the myth that capitalism grew and prospered out of the Protestant ethic of hard work and sacrifice. The fact is that capitalism was built on the exploitation and suffering of black slaves and continues to thrive on the exploitation of the poor, both black and white, both here and abroad. He wrote in The Three Evils of Society in 1967. Now, of course, they don't ever quote that part on MLK Day.
Mm-mm.
We must confront our history honestly. DEI isn't a trend, it's a step towards justice, addressing the systemic imbalances that linger from our past. Real strength is found when all people have an equal chance to thrive, she wrote. So, but yeah, Dr. Phil was there getting his check. Just fucking ridiculous, man. This is what the fuck. We're a week out from the election, basically, and this is what they think is drumming up the vote on their side. I hope they're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it should be motivating people on our side, but let's find out. In other election news, I'll go through these quicker. The Washington Post, Jeff Bezos stopped them from endorsing Kamala Harris. People have resigned from the editorial board for basically being silent. So much for freedom of the press.
Right.
All these billionaires talk about freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and then they get in charge of the press, and what do? Stifle their freedom. Don't do your job. Do what I tell you to do. They have now lost 200,000 subscribers since doing that.
Yeah, people aren't happy with that.
Which is funny because part of the thing is like, well, they don't want to be divisive. Middle Americans, they don't want to hear what a coastal elite thinks about the election and who to vote for. Middle Americans ain't subscribing to your fuck shit ass paper.
Right.
You dummy. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with their money. I mean, Jeff Bezos might get money from everything. So I honestly think I would not be shocked if he shutters the joint, because a lot of times billionaires and rich people do that. I fucked up the business. Guess the business doesn't work, right off, you know? So I don't know that this will ever hurt him that people unsubscribe, but I don't blame them. That's the one job you have and you won't do the job.
That's a lot of subscribers too.
Yeah. The dude from Bob's Burgers got sentenced to a year and a day in prison for his January 6th bullshit.
Fucked up his money.
Yep. Jimmy Pesto fucking up in real life. Nevada can count late mail-in ballots in a court loss for the GOP.
Good.
Yeah, Trump's been losing some of these rulings in some of these battleground states like Georgia and like Nevada. I'm not sure about Arizona, but he's been losing some of these rulings that, you know, they had in place to try to, you know, essentially either steal the election or suppress the vote. Unless you have a GOP House and Senate like we do in North Carolina, where they can like pass these fucked up laws
and
changes. But yeah, it's good to see he lost that. Philadelphia DA sues Elon Musk to stop his Elon Musk. That was Freudian. I didn't mean to call him Must, but he's musty.
Yes, he is.
Elon Musk. But yeah, he's suing them to stop this $1 million giveaway for voters.
Right.
Yeah, it's illegal. We all knew it was illegal. The feds have already sent him like a thing saying, hey, this shit probably illegal. You should stop. And now the DA is suing him because you can't offer people money for their vote.
Mm-mm.
Like, it's just you just can't do that. It is illegal. We actually have laws against that. Using cash incentives to gather voter information, it violates state lottery laws. And so, yeah, the DA is on his ass. And I hope that, I mean, he has more money than God, so I hope that they're able to do something. Let's see. And the last thing is this one, and I think this is a pretty interesting and possibly important story. Fires were set in drop boxes that destroyed hundreds of ballots in Washington and damaged 3 in Oregon.
Wow.
Yeah, incendiary devices were set off on Monday at 2 ballot drop boxes, one in Portland, another in nearby Vancouver, Washington, destroying hundreds of ballots in what one official called a direct attack on democracy.
Yes.
The early morning fire at the drop box in Portland was extinguished quickly thanks to a suppression system inside the box as well as a nearby security guard. They said just 3 ballots were damaged, but within a few hours, another fire was discovered at a transit center drop box across the Columbia River in Vancouver. Vancouver is the biggest city in Washington's 3rd congressional district. The site of what is expected to be one of the closest U.S. House races in the country between first-term Democratic Representative Mari Glossenkamp and Perez and Republican challenger Joe Kent. The ballot box in Vancouver also had a fire suppression system inside, but that failed to prevent hundreds of ballots from burning, said Greg Kimsey, the longtime elected auditor in Clark County, Washington, which includes Vancouver. He urged voters who dropped their ballots in the transit center box after 11 a.m. Saturday to contact his office for a replacement ballot. Yeah, and who knows if those people are even going to be aware of this, if you're going to track it, if you're going to be able to track those people down, because obviously that it's been, some of their ballots have been destroyed. You don't even know who they were.
Right.
Also, people are going to be very nervous. What if I think my ballot was destroyed? I submit another ballot and then I'm somehow being targeted for some type of election fraud.
Right.
Like this, it's all about fear and suppression. That's what they want from us. But yeah, it's and a lot of this happens because people have been listening to these right-wing conspiracy theories and these information silos where they're like, they they still in the election. They made fake mail-in ballots and shit like that. And so now you got people out here charged up thinking they're doing something for justice or stopping the steal, when all they're really doing is trying to suppress or alter or steal the election. 6 states have banned ballot drop boxes since 2020. Arkansas, Mississippi, Missouri, North Carolina, South Carolina, and South Dakota. Once again, you got a Republican Senate and Congress get in charge. They pass laws like this.
Yes, they do.
They pass laws based off of white people's grievance and lies about the election being stolen.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 4 years. No proof of any conspiracy, no proof anything was stolen, no evidence, no proof of anybody working for Democrats. We've caught Republicans doing shit, but yet the money for the recounts and the money for these measures that suppress votes continues to flow because white people's feelings and tears continue to flow.
It's very frustrating and it's very anger inducing, particularly here in North Carolina, where they basically went through and strategically was like, what do the niggas do? We're going to stop that shit. Early voting, okay, we're going to make it where we're going to eliminate some of these Sundays. We're going to eliminate like the first 1 or 2 weekends. We're going to cut the hours short, like everything they can. Like this shit make no sense. It's so fucking frustrating. And the thing about it also, and it makes me mad every time I have to do it here in North Carolina, you have to show your driver's license in order to vote. And it just infuriates me every time I have to put it on my fucking pocket to show them, to prove who I am.
Yep. And that happens because who people let get in charge.
Right.
I guess this is the last thing. This is literally breaking news. This just happened while we were on the air. But you know how I keep telling y'all, I'm not worried about Kamala Harris running anything less than a stellar campaign. I really think a lot of people are fretting over the wrong shit. They have some liberal list of shit that they would like to see that would not work for the vast majority of Americans, and it's not that smart or savvy, even if they feel righteous saying it. And in this case, they have already turned Tony Hinchcliffe's racist jokes into an ad.
A floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
I will never forget what Donald Trump did. He abandoned the island and offered nothing more than paper towels and insults. Puerto Ricans deserve better. As president, I will always fight for you and your families, and together we can chart a new way forward.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Right.
Telling you, man, whenever people try to cast doubt on her campaign, I just look at them sideways like, what do you think we're doing?
Right. What do you think is happening?
What do you think? What do you think is happening right now in this country?
Right. Why do we get 45 texts a day for shit like this?
That's the right
my
message.
money.
That's the right message. That's the right moment. That's faster and savvier than anything you were gonna say. Nobody want to hear your shit about, well, what about this? No one cares.
Nobody cares.
Whatever your pet issue is, it's not resonating. It might work on Twitter. It might work on your text chain. It ain't working with everybody. The fight is to not have this motherfucker Donald Trump in charge.
Right. And then we can talk about the other shit afterwards.
Yeah. A Texas man punched an election worker who told him to remove his Trump hat at a voting site.
Right. Because you're not supposed to go in there with shit, right?
Yep.
Right.
They punching people.
I'll just say that'll be a federal offense.
Right. All right. But that's it for the election news. That was a lot of election news. I know we also had some upfront stuff with banter. I'll try to get to just a couple other articles, but let me play some music so we can get an ad in here.
Okay.
I think that's Afro Swing, which I believe is infrared crypto. The Baby. Y'all remember him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because he was like, I don't know, 2 more weeks from being.
Now you said The Baby and something else.
The Baby wants to collaborate with Megan Thee Stallion again, despite previously claiming they slept together. He said this on the Drink Champs podcast.
You don't get out of here.
A person with a long memory,
yes,
who covers this for the show, knows that that's not all he did.
There's a lot of shit.
Claiming he slept with her was only one of the egregious things he did, and against her. I'm not even counting just the fact that he burned his career, put it on fire, trying to be like, I ain't with them gabies or whatever the fuck he was saying. Like,
yeah, shit got canceled. He ain't never come back.
He threw his career away just because the homophobia kicked in. He didn't want to be considered. He didn't want his fans being considered gay or thinking something was gay about him or whatever. Because that's the only thing I can imagine subconsciously he did that for. But he didn't just do it to gay people. He also was one of the people that a lot of black women liked, despite his messaging and his music. He has dimples and he's very in shape. So I think people was looking at him, and I had a running joke on the show at the time, which is, despite all these black women online going up for him that are very woke women that I knew, I'll be like, every time he punched a woman in the face or said some egregious offensive shit, I'd be like, The Baby starting to think he's not an intersectional feminist.
Nope. You been saying that for a while.
Yeah, because people work backwards. They like somebody and then all of a sudden they start, in this stand culture bullshit, they start acting like they're a good person. Because they can't just be honest like I am and be like, I like this person's music, probably a horrible person.
Right.
And it's like, well, how can you listen to his music? Because I don't listen to support the kind of person you are.
That's not why I'm here.
There's a lot of good, wholesome, righteous, whack motherfuckers that I don't listen to.
Come on.
They stand with all my morals, and I find them to be
boring.
Terrible.
That shit is boring.
Yeah.
It don't bang. It don't jam.
Bill Maher been making them red meat for liberal jokes and his whole, until the last few years, but for years, I didn't want to see that unfunny bullshit. I don't think the atheist is da-da-da. Okay, good for you, buddy. It's not funny. Let me know when you write a funny joke and I'll come through. The baby is calling on his former frequent collaborator, Megan Thee Stallion, to come home and get back in the studio with him despite dissing her on his 2022 album, Baby on Baby 2.
Bitch, did you say come home?
I got love for Meg. He said, me and Meg did some dope shit together, and it's good to see her rise amongst the obstacles. Nigga, you was one of the obstacles. Why it always be a hurdle talking about good on you for jumping over me? You know, you the hurdle. Hey man, you cleared the shit out of me. Congratulations. I gotta respect that.
I was trying my best.
I really gotta respect that.
I tried my best to be in your way. Bitch, you did that. I see you.
Okay, a lesser person would have fucked up an ACL messing with me.
Right?
But not you.
I see you cleared it.
You did good. Yeah, so he says, I'm manifesting a song with Glow and Meg together and Baby. I guess referring to himself third person. I think that's the way me and Meg should pop back out because I feel like ain't none of these.
You the one that need to come back out.
Ain't none of these niggas, and no disrespect, that y'all are making music with can really embody that. He said.
Yeah, this is how I feel about this. The baby was an average rapper. He wasn't great, but he wasn't terrible. But he was cute and he made music that a lot of black women love. So they bopped to and they ignored all the fuck shit that he had been doing. That's the truth. A lot of his greatest hits was with Megan. Okay? And so you fucked your own money up. You fucked up your relationship with Megan. Like you did is you cannot blame nobody but yourself. You don't want to take accountability. You don't want to take responsibility. You act like, oh shit just magically happened. And all of a sudden we don't fuck with each other. And all of a sudden she's just supposed to fucking forget and supposed to be like, oh, I remember when I made shit with you. Megan is fine. She don't need you. You need her. But you have too much pride to say you need her, and ain't nobody thought about you or said your name since your concerts and shit got canceled a few years ago. And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, it's time to get back in the spotlight, and you realizing that not trying to find these dudes that you fucked your career for, they ain't got it like her. They can't, get you to the place that you want to do, and or they don't fuck with you.
You was selling tickets on Groupon, my guy. She's not coming home. She be letting you inside the house.
Yes.
You the one outside in the cold, not her. He put, come home, baby. You ain't got to be making all that lame shit with none of these other niggas. We can come get it in, or we cannot. I like how he made it sound like that's an enticing offer. And that, or we cannot, is definitely his way of being like, when she tells me no, bitch, you ain't that cute anyway. You know what I mean? Shout out to Meg and any other female out here doing their thing. Oh, they love when you call them female. I don't got nothing bad to say about no black woman doing their motherfucking thing, man. I ain't tripping. It's hard out here.
Except for you bought the person that shot her in the foot to a motherfucking concert that she was at too, performing at too. Word.
So he claimed that slept with Megan on his 2022 track, Boogeyman. The day before she said that Tory Lanez shot her, I was fucking on Megan Thee Stallion. Waited to say that shit on my next album. He also said hit it the day before too, but I kept it playing. I ain't say nothing about it, which is ironic because you're rapping about it. He later addressed his lyrics saying, it is what it is. I said a long time ago, keep me out the business. It's a song. It's out right now. Nigga can take it how they want to take it. In addition to him dissing her, he also had Tory Lanez, the man who shot Megan Thee Stallion, be a surprise guest, I believe, at his Coachella performance, that he brought him out and performed with him. So it wasn't just, he said some lyrics and stuff. And it reminds me of Nick Bosa. Because when asked about it, hey, it is what it is, man. I say a long time, keep me out the business. You put the business out there. What are you talking about?
Nobody asked for it.
It's just a song. It's a song where you're claiming that I slept with this woman at a time when her credibility is on the line, and a lot of people are trying to turn this into an indictment on her sexual proclivities, and not, I don't know, a man shooting her in her motherfucking foot.
Right.
But I honestly think a lot of what he's doing is this weird, insecure deflection about wanting to be considered a man's man, because I think that's the same thing that happened with the homophobic shit. Like he just kept digging the hole deeper because he don't want to be considered the stuff that people were saying about him, that he was one of the good rappers. Like people used to hold him up and be like, why can't men support Megan Thee Stallion the way that the baby does? It's one of the reasons they liked him.
Mm-hmm.
And now she is out here, a sun in a solar system of her own, and he's orbiting. He's an orbiting moon on the coldest planet on the edge of the fucking solar system. That's him now. And he's got the nerve to be like, you need to get back with me so you can get some more hits. I don't know. Last time I checked, she was getting hits and filling up stadiums and hosting SNL and doing a bunch of shit. She seemed to be doing all right.
Just fine.
I don't think the magic of you being on the track or not being on track is really going to change much for her life anyway.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, nice gaslighting there. Nice try.
Right.
46 people got hospitalized with food poisoning in Maryland.
Uh-oh, what's happening in DMV?
I don't know if it's the DMV, and I know
specifically
that
Maryland.
I know that y'all people that listen and live out there get real sensitive about it, so don't write in. We don't know what the DMV is. Also, don't want to have it explained to me 57 fucking times.
No, we don't.
So
I'm not gonna say that. God damn it! I thought the DMV was Department of Motor Vehicles before people told me. So what do we? Yeah, leave me alone.
I just know that stuff like that invites y'all senses to call in or write in and give us a bunch of shit that is very strongly, vigorously fought in your area. Area. And I get that, and I respect that.
I do too.
I don't want to have that bullshit on our show.
Mm-mm.
We don't want to do the whole thing. So, please ignore Karen calling the DMV, whether it is or isn't. This is a disclaimer to tell you that's not an important part of the story.
No, it's not. My bad.
If I have to read 30 minutes of fucking feedback on this bullshit, that'll be the last episode of the show we ever do. 46 people were hospitalized in a foodborne illness outbreak this week after they shared a dish at their workplace in Maryland. Howard County Fire and Rescue said it responded at 3:45 p.m. Monday. That means motherfuckers ain't even get to go home. They was sick at work. Cause you know that that's work hours. This is why nobody would come back to the office. They went to Chesapeake Bay Court in Jessup, which is about 15 miles south of Baltimore. Once again, don't write in. Okay? Thank you. On a report of multiple patients with food poisoning after allegedly eating the same food, the 46, all adults, were evaluated and taken to different area hospitals. All were non-critical. Having to go to the hospital, 46 people at the same time. What was in that food?
Yeah, they was like, hey, we gonna only take like 10 to 50. We can't take all 47.
That's a coordinated effort. That's an emergency.
Yes, Daddy.
That's like the same thing you have to do when there's like a mass shooting. It's like we need to find a way to get 46 people to the hospital. And I mean, I can't even imagine. It must have been like a cruise in there. No bathroom is equipped for 46 people at the same time in the building.
No, it's not.
The workers reportedly became ill roughly an hour after eating a noodle dish. An hour.
Oh, that was a fucking that shit was timed.
That was some fast acting food poisoning.
What did they know?
The Howard, what'd you put? Nightshade in that shit? What the fuck is wrong with you? The Howard County Health Department said it was working with the Maryland Department of Health to investigate the exact cause of the incident, but said it was not believed to have been intentional. Preliminary indications are that the illness was related to outside food prepared by an employee and shared with others at the facility. The department is now talking to the affected to learn more specific details about the food in question. At this time, we are not aware of any further illness connected to this incident and believe there's little risk to the larger community.
This is why some companies are like, we're gonna cover everything, or either they be like, bitch, your shit better pop out the plastic.
I love catered event.
Me too.
But this reminds me of 2016. Episode 1348 of The Black Guy Who Tips. It's called Office Potluck. And there's a long upfront where we discuss why you need to not eat the office potluck and why it's such a dicey proposition if I'm gonna ever eat at the office potluck, I'm gonna clear that shit with the old black woman that worked there because she know everything. That's the only person I trust to give me the thumbs up, thumbs down on different people's dishes. You know, y'all got one at your job. I don't know what you call her, but it's Miss something, Miss first name, Miss Gladys or somebody. You like Miss Gladys? And she, cause you already know what's up, cause she don't even want you to eat the potluck. She'll come over to your desk before the potluck is being served and be like, man, you know the potluck at 11:30. You gonna eat? You gonna stay here for lunch or you gonna go out? And I'll be like, I think I'm gonna probably go out and get me something. Okay, that's smart. And then if you do gotta eat, Miss Gladys could be the one to tell you like, oh, I guess I'll get some, I don't know, who made this macaroni and cheese? And then you look over and make eye contact with Miss Gladys and she be giving you the like, don't you fuck with that macaroni and cheese. You're like, oh, actually, I'm lactose intolerant. I don't know what I was thinking. I'll guess I'll get some banana bread. No banana bread for me because Lily made it and Lily owns a cat and she be taking pictures on Instagram with her cat on the counter of her kitchen. So we will not be eating any of that. All right.
We will not. No, we will not.
Oh, pre-packaged brownies? Ding, thumbs up. Okay.
If I gotta bust it open, yes.
Let me get a pre-packaged brownie. All right. That sounds.
Let me get a soda.
Delicious.
All right. Yeah. I know this ain't been touched.
Oh, Miss Barbara made the potato salad. Okay. Miss Barbara did it. Thumbs up. Okay, ding, boom. I'm getting a little scoop of the potato salad. Yeah. But you got to go through that. You got to go with somebody that's been through the wars, somebody that's a little distrusting, or she's going to end up with 46 other people going to the goddamn hospital.
Going to the hospital.
Try to be friends because you ain't want, you didn't want Janine to feel bad that you looked her dead in her motherfucking eyes and was like, is this tuna casserole? What is this? And she's like, oh, I made it last night. It's actually salmon casserole. And you're like, that sounds terrible. I mean, I don't want you to feel bad. I'm gonna go. I'll give me a little scoop. I'll try it. Next thing you know, you puking your guts out, waiting for 911, praying to Jesus.
The company got 47 people that's using the insurance all at once.
Right.
Now they're having the co-pays and shit. The co-pay was probably more expensive than the goddamn meal.
I tell you what, though. I bet every employee ain't go to the motherfucking hospital.
They did not. No, because probably more than 47 there. No, they did not. And
Miss Gladys was over there looking at everybody like,
your tummy rumbling too?
You did that salmon casserole, didn't you? I told you it looked a little bit dicey. You know, she be letting her dog lick in her mouth and then taste the spoon. Yeah, I've seen it. She put it on TikTok. Thought it was cute. Anyway, I pray for y'all because that's all I got. Thoughts and prayers.
Right. And you know what the company gonna do from now on? They gonna say no more goddamn potlucks. We're catering everything. We can't afford 50 people running the insurance all in the same day. No, thank you.
I'm just saying. Y'all know, y'all got coworkers that's nasty. Y'all know they nasty.
Right. They don't wash their hands after using the bathroom and shit.
All right. Now you supposed to eat their food? I don't think you have the same safety standards as OSHA or whatever corporations have the different laws. I want to see your motherfucking score on your kitchen. Some of y'all walking around with some D's and some C's in y'all kitchen scores, and y'all just bringing shit to work like, hey, everybody should enjoy some of this. Like, I don't think I've ever heard that combination before.
I don't either. I even got to the point where I just was like, here my money. I would pay, like, whatever. Everybody pay, I would pay. Some motherfuckers wouldn't complain. And then I would be like, okay, what time is it? And I got shit to do. I'll just leave.
I have done that many a time. I was like, they said everybody put in $10. We all get a plate or whatever and bring one thing. And they'd be like, Rob, what you gonna bring? And I'll be like, cups of plates or whatever. Occasionally I brought food. I know my shit good. I hope they don't eat it. Honestly, I hope they don't trust me. I would rather bring my food back home and eat it. But normally my shit be gone. I'm not even on front. But they think all that means I'm fitting to eat with them. Wrong. I'm going to Taco Bell. I'll risk it with Taco Bell before I risk it with y'all food. Hell no. It's not worth it. I don't even understand why people are taking that chance. You know what I eat at motherfucking potlucks? Desserts. And by which I mean, oh, somebody brought some donuts. Oh, some cookies, them pre-wrapped cookies.
Yes.
I'll fuck up some desserts because desserts normally, a lot of times people don't hand make the dessert.
Right. And a lot of times the dessert, if I gotta dig that and break out and break that hard ass plastic, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
They make all that goddamn noise trying to open it.
But you think I'm really about to eat your chicken cacciatore and the chicken look medium rare? No, my friend. I don't know you. We just work together.
Don't know you.
We're not actually friends. And if you get me sick, I want to fuck you up.
Right.
So it's better for both of us.
I'm gonna whoop your ass if you make me sick.
It's better for both of us.
Right.
We could go on being friends. I can laugh about the time you got everybody else sick.
Yes, I can. But if I'm sick, it ain't gonna be cool between us.
Oh, you was fucking with Janine salmon salad. Okay.
Try that bullshit if you want to.
All right.
It wouldn't enough for me to make a plate, go to my desk, and throw that shit in the trash can.
Karen, honest to God, I've done that.
And toss it. Put napkins over it.
I've made a full plate.
I have.
So, you know how you know your coworker nasty and their food can't be trusted? Some of y'all motherfuckers got the nerve to come check. Okay, warden. Oh, did you eat all the? Did you try the potato salad? No, man, get the fuck out of here. Don't look at my trash either. Just go. Yeah, I ate it all. It's delicious. It's fucking the mess. I went back for seconds when you wasn't looking. I'm gonna take something home with me. No, I didn't eat the shit. You see, I'm not sick, so clearly I didn't eat it.
Oh, you know what I do? I pretend like I'll wrap that shit up, and then when I leave, throw it in like the outside trash can, because I'm like,
no, I'll throw it in my trash can.
I've done
Fuck
that too.
you.
I've done it thrown in my trash can.
Fuck you.
Yeah, right at my feet.
You my daddy? You gotta make sure I ate all my dinner tonight. I'm a grown ass
bitch. You know
man.
your shit's nasty.
Come on. I've never checked to see if people ate my food.
Don't care.
Either it's great and either you didn't and I can bring it back home. Thank you. Or it's gone. Like it be gone. And the only thing I want is my Tupperware back. That's it. That's the list. That's people that can cook. That's what they do. I have never encouraged anybody to try my shit. The other thing people do too, they be trying to test you. They be trying to see if you're going to talk them into it. I don't want to talk you into it.
No.
I'd like to bring it back to the crib. So I'm absolutely fine with that. They be like, oh, did you make this macaroni and cheese or whatever? I'll be like, my wife made it. Okay, well, what's, hey, I don't know, man. I'm honestly, I wouldn't even get it if I was you. You know, like, I would leave it alone. Yeah, I love to bring the shit back to the crib.
Questions.
Like, I wouldn't trust it. Okay? It looked suspicious to me. Oh, now go ahead and hand my plate back. Like, I'll come to a potluck, eat just my shit.
I don't know if I've done that before.
They be like, so you gonna get anything else? I'll be like, nah, these ribs, I'm good with these ribs. Who made the ribs? Me. Back to my desk to not talk to y'all.
And 4 cookies straight out of the box.
And watch y'all rush to the bathroom from fucking, because that's the other thing.
An hour later.
That's the other problem. The potluck be too early.
Don't they know?
They be like, oh yeah, we gotta eat, you know what I'm saying? So what time we gonna eat? I don't know, 10:30? 10:30?
Yes, they love that 10:30, 11 o'clock bullshit.
10:30?
Let me tell you something else. Another reason why I was like, fuck your potluck, because you want me to take my break, because no, I'm going to stand in this line, get my shit, go to my desk, and take my break whenever I take my break.
I still take my lunch.
I do too. Fuck y'all.
Every time. That shit not my lunch.
No, it's not.
They be like, you could go ahead and eat some. You don't got to take your lunch. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to eat any. Yes, I am taking my lunch. I don't want this. That's y'all food.
That's right. That's y'all bullshit.
K-Can in the chat said, I ain't lying for shit. I'm telling them dead in their face. I don't have enough respect for them to tell them dead in their face. I lie to them because I don't respect them, K-Can. I respect myself too much.
Yeah.
It ain't really about me, about them like that. I'm just lying because it's expedient. I don't give a fuck if they don't like it. They can look at the trash can and see I'm lying. It's not. The point is I'm doing this so we could avoid a conflict. Yeah, it was delicious. I see you have a little more dressing left. I'll get to it. Well, it kind of looks like you got the whole thing left. Yeah, I'm getting full. I'm not dying because y'all don't know that raw egg don't go in everything.
Come on.
Okay? I don't even want to eat at everybody's house. Of course I'm not eating everybody's food.
Do not.
Some of y'all don't do y'all TPS reports on time. Is that the level of detail that you out here making?
With your food.
You out here
report 2 days late. So now I'm going to get sick 2 days later.
You out here making souffles with that shit? With the same amount of detail?
Right. Did you skip shit?
Right.
Edit shit.
You turn shit in
forget
late.
Shit.
You turn shit in late. Does that mean you don't respect expiration dates?
Come on now.
Now I gotta die because your mayonnaise ain't been changed since 2021. Are you out of your fucking mind?
No, thank you.
You're not a chef? Do we work at a restaurant? Why am I eating your food? If y'all don't stop being cheap, we could have all put $10 in together and had that luxurious pizza party you always give people instead of a raise.
Right? Yes.
I'll gladly take a Thanksgiving pizza party over a motherfucking potluck 100 times out of 100.
Because then if everybody gets sick, you know it's Papa John's, Pizza Hut, or whatever. Right.
Let me get sick from some shit that we know get us sick.
Yes.
Like, oh, we got
my cholesterol in my stomach.
The thing about Papa John's, I know how Papa John's gonna make me sick. We done danced this dance a few times. Okay. I don't know what your strange Doritos tuna casserole shit. I don't know what that's gonna do. That's like 3 separate things I shouldn't be eating in one.
Be like, why your shit smell funny? No, thank you.
But I know exactly how the garlic butter fucked me up. Okay. I like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a headache all afternoon. All this salt. Cause Papa John know what he's doing. When he comes
being sweet.
When he come to fuck me up, I make that decision. That's a decision I make with my eyes wide open. I'm not rolling the dice.
I'm not rolling the dice. I goddamn love Papa John's. Don't give a fuck.
I'm calling my shot. I don't love Papa John's. I'm calling my shot though. I'm not rolling the dice. I'm saying, okay, tonight is a stay at home night. I'm fucking with this Papa John's. I know that. But if I fuck with your shit, I don't know what.
It might be worse than the Papa John's.
Is ham in the broccoli casserole? Why is there ham in here?
That's a great question.
I don't know. But you told me it's hitting. Now I gotta trust you. And then when I'm over at motherfucking
experiment, baby, you probably don't. I'm about to say, you got that clip of that lady that gave that shit to her coworkers on there?
Oh, I don't have it.
But you know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, let me go look at my YouTube history and see if I can find it. But I'll see what I can do.
No problem.
Yeah, I don't want to be down at motherfucking the Southwest Hospital,
And then so they had to
Atrium North Side because your ass
Right.
Your ass had to get a little frisky with the motherfucking fish and the cheese.
Novant West Side, like you sending them people all across the county.
Right. Man, I hope I can find that thing. I think I watched it on my other account.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, child. And the thing is, they had to go to multiple hospitals. So someone went to the big hospital, someone went to the small one.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine that, right? And you know what? I bet you everybody was like, "Fuck Brenda." I found.
Okay. Give me a second. I'll put it on camera for y'all. We're gonna end on this. This woman, this is in Canada, so you know these the nicest people on earth.
Mm-hmm.
This is on the news in Canada. This woman made artichoke dip for the holidays. When I tell you the amount of warning signs, like I know these motherfuckers ended up in the hospital. Bathroom minimal.
Yes.
But when I tell you the amount of warning signs in the preamble, and this is what I'm talking about, that fake politeness will have you eating this shit.
Throughout the week, we've been sharing our holiday treats. Leslie, on tap this morning.
Okay, first of all, that laugh, that's not what you want when you present your food at the potluck.
And they got a pink spoon just laying in it too.
Right. But if you tell somebody, hey, I made blank, and you open up the container and they go, that's, you fucked up already. It's not good.
Our holiday treats. Leslie on tap this morning.
Yeah, it's not supposed to look like that.
There's a whole story here. So what is this?
Okay, so this, it's like I didn't want to bake it. I've been busy, so.
Dude on the left can already smell it. Dude all the way to the left, he can smell it because you can see him covering his mouth, his nose with his hand already.
And the thing is this. If you're saying you didn't want to make it, I'm not eating that shit.
I told you it's warning signs.
Like you was like, I was like, well then bitch, just buy something then. Don't come in here with this.
The fact that you're backpedaling is already, I'm not eating your food.
No.
Whenever I made something for a potluck and someone asked me questions about it, I'm not backpedaling and telling them why it won't be good. I'm like, then don't eat it.
Right.
That's what I mean. And it's a confidence thing. I'm like, I would like you to not, best case scenario for me at a potluck, nobody wants my food. I'm sure it means that they think negative things about me at the job. Sure, I'll take that. That's fine. But I know my shit fine. I can take it back home and eat that. You motherfuckers that be like, no, go ahead, take some. I'm like, what's wrong with it?
Right.
I don't want to bring it all home. Why don't you want to bring it all home?
Why don't
Because if I spent my hard-earned money making food for you ungrateful people that I barely tolerate, I couldn't wait to bring it back to the crib and be like, more for me.
Yeah, they used to get mad at me. They be like, you ain't never gonna cook nothing, and I never will. Which I need plates, spoons, cups, ice. I was like, fuck y'all.
Oh, I didn't want to make anything, but my family was all freaking out. Okay, this is what I wanted to do. This was plan A. This is my favorite Christmas thing.
Well, then,
here's the Safeway wrapper.
oh, thank you.
It's Christmas cake.
Fruit cake, yeah.
Okay.
Now listen, I don't know what's in that. It's probably not good. But you saw how it came out of a plastic wrapper? I'd eat that.
I'm here for it.
Bing! It clears the test of potluck.
Yes.
Oh, you bought this from the store?
We
Give me a
good.
slice. I'll take half a slice. Give me a chunk of that.
But you wanted to make some of that.
I love that.
So this is bought.
Serious. Well, I made it and then Safeway packaged it for me.
Right. Okay.
So that's really my.
And then she just got herself off the list. Just that quick. I told you she be shitting out the warning signs. Why would Safeway package your shit for you?
Right. Safeway probably can make their own.
You're a deceptive person. You're a very deceptive person. Why are they packaging your food you made at the crib?
They're not gonna do that.
See, you just hit me to some new game that I didn't even think about. Is it people out here that's actually going and buying the store packaging and putting their shit inside it? Now I might not trust that no more.
Now I need to see it opened up on the spot.
Not unless Miss Gladys tell me. I'm not fucking with it.
My favorite.
Okay, so that's what you want to do.
But my
Let's talk about what
family's
happened.
all
What is that?
freaking out because you need to make something. Everybody's making something. So they all got together and they sent me this recipe and I'm going to make you guys try it. So this is artichoke.
That's another red flag. Make? Ma'am, this ain't Guantanamo. I don't have to try shit. But see, being fake nice at work.
Dip. Okay, so you think that that's okay, right? Is that too much for you, George?
That's a lot.
I mean, I can't.
Okay. Okay, couple things. Buddy on the left legitimately looked at the camera like it's an episode of The Office for a second. Like, Buddy all the way on the left.
Are we about to really?
Okay, so you think that that's okay, right? Is that too much for you?
Like, he had a little quick look at the camera.
Are we really about to do this bullshit with Deborah?
Like, if y'all want. The other thing is when a little piece of it dropped, why did he act like it was the blood from the aliens, the xenomorphs? He had like this shit was gonna melt through his shoes.
He smelled that shit. He was like, no, what that is?
That's a lot.
I can't do this. How does it smell, Scott?
It's like vinegar or something.
What a fake out by the white lady in the middle though to hand the piece over to the other dude.
That bullshit.
She handed it to you, sis. She was like, "Here you go, here you go."
And he already said, "I can't." So he already was like, "This is gonna be some bullshit."
Vinegar.
And they said vinegar. The fuck am I smelling vinegar for?
Right. Nothing. Even stuff with vinegar in it not supposed to smell strongly of vinegar.
No, it's not.
Salt and vinegar chips don't smell like just vinegar. If you ever just open a bottle of vinegar and smell that shit, you wouldn't eat anything that smell like that.
No.
How does it smell, Scott?
It's like vinegar or something.
I thought it smelled like a barn.
But we're not being rude. We have
No, it didn't work out. I'm telling you right now, this did not work out. So it's artichoke.
Too much.
The fact that he ate that dip like it was a shot of tequila.
Yes, and he keeps looking at the camera, which is fucking hilarious.
But the fact that he ate it like a shot, that tell you how bad it stinks. Because he didn't nibble on it like,
He did it. He was like, let me go ahead and do
He
this.
basically was like, in order to eat this, I have to not taste it. I need to throw it directly to the back of my throat and swallow before my throat and taste enzyme, before it can figure out what I'm doing to it.
Yes.
If my body discovers I'm trying to poison it, it will reject this.
Immediately.
Workout. So it's artichoke
Too
dip.
much. Too much. Is it edible?
He literally almost threw up with just answering the question.
Oh no.
At first I'm like, well, it's not that bad, but the vinegar.
But there's no vinegar in there. So here's what happens.
There's no vinegar.
That's like red flag number 7 at this point. It smell and tastes like vinegar, and then you let me know there's no vinegar in it.
Something is spoiled.
Ma'am, what? Other stuff don't smell like vinegar. Nothing healthy.
No.
There's not a similar vinegar smell out there on the market where you're like, oh yeah, sometimes I'll be eating chicken and it's like got that vinegar smell to it, and you like, it's gonna be hitting. Never.
That's like all that I can taste is vinegar.
Oh my gosh.
He spit it out into the wrapping that she paid for at Safeway.
Okay, so like it's got.
I'm not trying to be rude here.
It's okay. I agree with you. Totally.
I agree with you. Then why'd you make me taste it?
Yes, bitch, you know it was nasty.
And you know what I just noticed? She didn't try none.
No, she did not, because she knew that was some bullshit and it was nasty.
Yo, Typhoid Mary motherfucker. The person in the last article that poisoned all them people, 46 people in the hospital in Maryland, Typhoid Maryland.
They probably didn't eat their own shit.
Typhoid Maryland. Okay? Y'all know y'all be sick at home. Y'all know y'all got E. coli.
Agree with you. Oh, it's
y'all probably be eating the boar's head at home. Like, it's still good to me. No. Which I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. Okay, yo, y'all must be weak. Y'all mind ain't strong.
Artichoke dip, but something went terribly wrong. Okay, so first of all,
doing that.
The vinegar burns.
There's no
vinegar. She said it burns.
It burns.
Food should not burn unless it's designed to be spicy or hot.
She said it burns. She said it like it burns like chemically.
Yes.
Not like it burns like spicy, but like chemically, like it burns. A chemical reaction is happening in my esophagus, and this is not what food's supposed to do.
The vinegar burns.
There's no vinegar. There's no vinegar. Do you think something is off? Like, do you think maybe
no shit?
And it's you and your mind. That's what's off.
You should have been like, my segment is over with. Can somebody go buy some shit for me? I'll claim this mine.
I feel like this the same way Kathy Bates would like rat poison somebody in a movie. She's like, oh, does this feel like it's burning? And you're like, are you killing me?
Maybe the artichokes are off. Well, okay, I didn't have a lemon, so I just cut up an orange and put that in there. And then
I didn't have a lemon. Those are two different fruit. Am I going crazy?
You cannot substitute orange and lemon just willy-nilly. They are not the same.
No, they're not.
No one's ever give you an orange to be like, sprinkle this on your fish. It'll really bring out the flavor.
Use a zest of an orange instead of a zest of a lemon.
No one's ever had a recipe like, substitute orange. Like, you might get lemon and lime.
Yes, you normally get lemon and
lime. No one
said
substitute orange juice for this lime juice.
No, they do not.
Orange juice and lemonade don't even taste the same.
No, they don't.
Ma'am, you should be outlawed from cooking.
Right.
I didn't know what
banned from doing this shit.
Spices to put in, so I put celery, salt, and oregano in it.
See, this is where the little bits of chemistry play in, Leslie. Things didn't combine properly.
So, how are you enjoying it, Amber?
It burns.
Oh, dang, she just keeps saying it burns.
How are you enjoying it, Amber? She said that like she's jealous of Amber. How you enjoying it, Amber? I'm tired of all the men in the office looking at you and not looking at me.
Amber ain't said a thing since she first said it burned.
You know what else burns? Every time you come to the set and everybody gives you a standing ovation, but when I come to the set, they don't say anything.
I wonder why.
Huh.
Was water in
It
here?
feels like a vinegar.
But there's no vinegar, so I don't get it.
Burns.
I don't get it. It's just a big failure.
So the recipe's on the.
Yeah, head to globalnews.ca/.
At least they didn't die.
Right.
At least they didn't have to go to a hospital that we know of.
Well, I just if they did, they got free health care in Canada.
Right. Literally too much dip on your chip.
Yes, it was too much.
The incident unfolded at NAFCO Wholesale Seafood Distributors. Oh, so y'all work with food and someone food poisoned everybody with some off the clock food, and it's seafood too. You know, people suspect.
Right.
The Stanley Perlman Enterprises, the parent company of NAFCO, told the outlet that the food that caused the illness did not come from the facility. NAFCO operates under the highest health and safety standards in the industry. Our headquarters and facilities are regularly inspected and monitored by the relevant health authorities to ensure compliance with all health and safety regulations. Well, maybe spread it to the kitchens of your employees, because this is ridiculous. Y'all got to be out y'all goddamn mind about to kill everybody at work.
Right.
Because you over here like, chicken could be pink in the middle, right? That's fine.
And not only that, now we have 40 employees out. Like the company is like, the fucking whole AP staff is out now. The fuck?
Yeah. 46 people.
Okay.
All right. Last thing, of course, is sword ratchetness. Let's get out of here on this. All right, here we go.
Horror when she catches one of her neighbors, only on 13. A mother's horror when she catches one of her neighbors, apparently setting her house on fire. It's the man in this exclusive video we've been showing you since Friday, armed with a samurai sword and toting a can of gasoline. ABC 13's Luke Jones is live at the Harris County Courthouse tonight, where the man suspected of the violence is set to appear again tomorrow morning. Luke?
First of all, Luke Jones looked kind of militant with that fro and that very serious face.
Yes.
Normally, when they send somebody out on the spot like this, they be smiling and shit like, "Hi, Jim." Man, Luke got a
They woke him up to do this.
Look like he gonna be like, "What's going on, Whitey?"
And when he does, he'll have to answer to 2 arson charges for setting this woman's and another person's house on fire. He's also facing 2 assault charges for threatening that woman and a responding sheriff's deputy with his sword. But if you ask one victim, these charges aren't nearly tough enough.
That's because we don't respect sword laws in this country. We do not treat these weapons as seriously, which if we can't get guns under control, why you think we can't get swords under control?
He actually
smoking a motherfucking cigarette while he's doing this? What kind of insane person smokes a cigarette?
You're pouring gasoline out.
You're pouring gasoline and holding a cigarette. Oh my God.
He actually came to kill me. I mean, it was attempted murder.
Jackie Gray didn't know what to think
Oh my God. I got my kids in the house.
when she walked out to find a smoking gas can propped up against her West Harris County home Wednesday.
He had the gas can literally right here.
And a defiant neighbor caught on camera walking up to her house with that gas can.
I just saw you and I got cameras. Yeah? What you gonna do?
She pressed charges, and so did one of her neighbors. That's because before Filey Wynn gets to Gray's house, we see the man police identify as Wynn walking up to a neighbor's house with his gas can.
Now, why is he trying to burn their houses down? Because
smell a little racist to me.
Smell like vinegar to you in here?
Yeah, I smell a lot of vinegar.
Racism smell vinegary to me, and
Yes.
my racism sense is tingling.
Come on.
I want to see the other neighbor house now too. Who lived there?
Another house, the homeowner.
Oh shit! Now, so it's the black people houses. He 2 for 2. Okay.
Owners say mysteriously caught on fire soon after.
So at this time, I'm trying to put the fire out. I'm trying to run back in the house and call 911.
Yet when the fire's out, Wynn returns, this time armed with a samurai sword. Watch as he pours gasoline all across Gray's driveway.
He actually started pouring it up underneath my truck. Then that's when he started pouring it all in front of the driveway and everything else.
When he's done, he lingers at the foot of the driveway, at one point slicing the air with his sword, a weapon Gray says she almost fell victim to.
But he was coming, with the sword kind of up in his hand, kind of like he was coming to charge at me. I'm like, oh, really? You coming after me with a sword?
When Harris County Sheriff's deputies get here, they say they're treated to the same hospitality.
He goes into his garage still kind of swinging at the police officers, and that's when they end up tasing him down.
A dangerous man taken down, in Gray's view. Luke Jones, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
They still didn't say what the penalty was, because they said that he didn't get enough time. So I'm wondering what, or maybe they just let him on bond or some shit and go back to the crib.
Right, and she was like, no, that's not enough.
Listen,
I set my motherfucking house on fire.
I know I don't really fuck with guns, but
I was about to say, he'd have hit the wrong one that'd lit him up. He'd have came out there with the fucking sword.
Let's just say I would have been fucking with him that day. If this nigga was my neighbor, it'd been a different type of story. It'll be a different type of story because you out of your motherfucking mind. You not finna clan me, nigga. You not finna burn down my house. It's a house too. It's not an apartment where I can just move.
Right.
Nah, man. This is not tenable. Well, I gotta worry about waking up middle of the night to a fucking fire. My kids dying because of you. We gotta end this threat, homeboy.
Right.
All right, y'all. That's it. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thought this would be short, but we had too good of a time talking about the potluck and too angry of a time talking about politics. So
y'all got it all.
2-hour show. All right, y'all. Talk to y'all next time. Until tomorrow, we'll have a guest. Zach from Live It Corporate will be our guest tomorrow. So make sure y'all check that out. And until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Bye, everybody.